Welcome to Redvee TV, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2019 season as we look ahead to the qualifying semi-final against the Wigan Warriors here at the Totally Wicked Stadium on Friday evening. Only in rugby league would you have two types of semi-final, and this is the one where you don't really lose.
Yeah, well, we don't get knocked out anyway, where you get your second bite at the cherry.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, this is what we worked all season for. 2 home goals at getting to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And hopefully for us, we won't need more than the one come Friday night.
Yeah, that'll do for me.
Squad news?
Squad news, Matty Costello drops out and Aaron Smith comes in. That's the only change to the 19. Put it out on social media earlier, and a couple of people were questioning whether James Roby was fit, whether it's just a little bit of cover for him, because he's been suffering with a groin injury all season pretty much. And I know he suffered with it, or they took him off as a precaution against Hull, and Bentley ended up coming on and doing a good stint at 9. And to be honest, it possibly is a bit of a cover for him. They might have a little doubt about him, or they want someone else in the squad. I think Bentley's your first cover there, though, at the minute. So I don't know. To me, it just seems like they are covering. We're completely fit in the backs.
Maybe we know the 17 and it's just a little bit of mind games.
Yeah, possibly so. Yeah.
I can't see any different than the side that went to Hull. I don't think Paolo gets back in ahead of Bentley.
No, we said it after Hull, that Bentley's versatility is key to him getting in the 17. It's not just because he's versatile, he's putting in the performances to back it up as well. But he can come off the bench and cover at centre as he has done. He can come in and play second row, loose forward, or at 9. And he's played all them positions this year, not let anybody down. And it probably is that versatility and his performances on the back of that are, or should, in my opinion, keep him in the 17.
I'm just looking at this backdrop behind us. It looks like a cardboard cutout, doesn't it?
It looks like I'm growing something out my head, and it's not her, so.
Well, yeah, that's been said, Kev. Where will this game be won and lost?
Apart from in there. Yeah, I think the first. Listen, it's going to be different to any other game that we've played against Wigan this year, where we've absolutely steamrolled them.
Because this one matters.
Yeah, it's semi-final rugby, isn't it? I think it's almost like the first quarter of the game, the first 20 minutes. Neither team is going to want to have been blown away. It's going to be, you'd imagine the old-fashioned Wigan quick start, like they always seem to do under Sean Wayne especially. But if Saints match that, listen, I've seen people on social media, and this kind of belies my pessimism usually, but we should be confident going into this. We should be.
Listen, we haven't lost here all year. We should be confident against anyone. But if anyone can beat us, it's Wigan.
Well, sport can be cruel, can't it?
Yeah, and we've always said over the years, derby games can go either way, and I don't suppose this is any different. And I don't think the result on Friday evening will have any bearing on the grand final. Should that come, it's a completely new day, new game.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've beaten Wigan every time we've played them this year. Hopefully that'll be the case on Friday. As you say, it's another 2 weeks down the line then. And it's got absolutely no bearing on it whatsoever.
And listen, I'm looking at the way Salford played last week. There's no guarantee that it will be a Saints Wigan final, regardless of who loses on Friday evening. So I seen somebody send us a message saying, do you want to win on Friday? Or do you want to lose and play next week? Which I found pretty strange. You want to get to Old Trafford as quickly as you possibly can.
Yeah. I know people will say about...
Otherwise, there was no point trying to finish top.
Yeah. I know people say about momentum and possibly playing and not missing a week. But you don't want that kind of doubt in your head that you've been beaten 1 week. You want well, hang on a minute. We've lost... How many games is it all season? 4.
And it's another 80 minutes where one of your players could get banged up.
Yeah, well,
one of your key
you know
players.
what? I actually mentioned that in work today, and they said you've got the issue that if you have to play next week, you've got injuries and suspension that could come in, and if all it needs is something to happen in the elimination semi-final, a high tackle or something like that,
a mass punch up and 4 players get banned.
But it's a possibility. But
you want to take as many. What's the word? variables out of the
yeah.
equation as you possibly can.
Well, that's it. And being able to, I know we've had a little bit of rotation through the team this year, a lot more than we had last year. Being able to field what is our strongest available 17 is good. I mean, Matty Lees is the only one that you probably put into the 17 now.
And he would be in it.
And he would be in it, yeah, because he makes a difference first interchange on. Yeah, and that's it. We've kind of been able to rest players up. I think the packs, just going back to your question about where it will be won, I think packs are going to be important, especially the first 10 minutes. You've got to lay down that platform. You've got to beat Wigan's pack. And I know they're going to get Sean O'Loughlin out of the cryogenic chamber, out of all his bubble wrap and straight back into their squad. But I think we can... It sounds bad because you've seen players coming towards the end of the career. James Roby, unfortunately, is one of them. Sean O'Loughlin's another. You can nullify the likes of Sean O'Loughlin. It's people like Liam Farrell, his comeback coincided with Wigan going into a good run of form. It's making sure that they are nullified as well.
I think for me, we can't fall behind and allow Wigan to dictate play, and slow it down, rub it out, kick long, and take us away from our game. And essentially, that's what happened at Wembley, and we panicked.
Yeah,
and you could sense the nervousness from the terraces at Wembley, and we need to make sure if we do go behind on Friday evening that we stick to what we do, and don't try and start chasing a game too early.
Yeah, lessons will have been learned, won't they, from that Wembley? Yeah, from that Wembley performance. We fell into almost the trap of letting Warrington play their game and us not playing ours, and then us trying to throw the ball about too much. You hope that a couple of the older heads will steady the ship, and instead of pressing and pushing and trying offloads and trying passes that just aren't there, I said it last week against Hull, and it was from a mate of mine who said Hull aren't honest sometimes. They will, like the first set against us last week after half time when they're getting beat, they try and push the first set, their first possession. They won't do 5 drives and a kick and try and get field position. They'll try and score. I'm hoping we are honest enough to turn around and think, hang on, with time, with Wigan playing last week and having a tough game against Salford, we get into the last 20 minutes, we can beat these. We've got the fitness on them.
You know what they say, don't you?
Go on.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, correct.
That said, confidence.
Yep.
Enough. There's no reason why not to be.
No, I think it's one of them. As a Saints fan, you're almost always a little bit pessimistic. The typical Saints, has been said time and time again. But listen, we finished so far ahead of everybody else in the league that everybody else has finished closer to bottom. Why shouldn't we be confident?
I hope we get a big crowd on Friday evening. I think it could be Justin Holbrook's last game here. After spending the last 2 years here transforming the club, why would you come all season and not turn up for your biggest home game of the year? That Warrington Centre week, 5,600 was crazy, and I understand it's the culture, but do you know what? If you're a football fan with a season ticket, you still turn up for a cup game, and this is your biggest. The biggest game of the season.
I think the West Stand has 20% attendance left, and it's £18 a ticket if you're a member for it, because I bought mine today, picked it up before we started filming. And £18, you think that's not too bad for a
derby
big
match.
Game. Yeah.
Derby match
for a massive game,
in a semi-final.
Yeah.
Potentially the last one of the year until February next year.
Yeah.
If you're going to miss one, you miss a pre-season friendly. You don't miss these ones.
Yeah, you miss. No offence, somebody like Swinton at home that's a tenner get in. You swerve that one, because to be honest, you could do if you want to go and watch rugby.
We'll be doing a pre-season preview saying, "Get down here before the start."
Swinton, yeah. But if you want to go catch some rugby, I'm sure there's teams like Pilks, Blackbrook who are putting Thatto Heath, who've got games on that you could go and watch.
Yeah, and do you know what? The crowd make a difference.
Yeah.
This place needs to be rocking on Friday night.
It does.
Other news this week then, there's the persistent rumour that Danny Richardson is going to Cass. Now, nothing's been confirmed our end, but usually no smoke without fire.
Yeah.
Oh, mind you, Cass did sign Alex Walmsley the other year, didn't he?
He did. All the fans had signed him anyway.
If he does go, I've heard people say, can you blame him? Well, it's not Danny's choice. If Danny goes to Cass, it's because Saints have chose to let him go.
Yeah.
And have received an offer that's probably too good to refuse.
That's it. We mentioned in the preview show last time when it was me and Kev around the front, around the other side of the stadium. We were on about would he potentially give it another year and let Christian Wolf see how he gets on. We may be a bit naive there, because is the coach just in charge of turning around and saying, I want a second rower, I want a half-back, I want a full-back, and then the club go out and get him, and it's nothing to do with the coach, you're just there to mould the team and make the team play to the best of their abilities, rather than a coach turning around and identifying and saying, I want Lachlan Coote, I want Joseph Paulo, I want whoever. Is that the case? And if Cass have come in with a good offer, which again is the rumour that they've come in with a monetary offer, do Saints look at that and think, well, you know what, we've got somebody coming through, we've got the likes of Jack Wellsby who can play half-back, we've got Lewis Dodd who can play half-back.
And these players need to get opportunities. So how can you be in a situation in a salary cap sport where you are able to carry 3 potentially first choice half-backs?
No, you're not, unfortunately.
Who want to play?
Yeah, and that's it. And it comes back to it that, listen, the very, very start of the season, when we did our preview, we said, who is your most natural half-back? And it was Danny Richardson.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see him go and succeed in a Cass shirt. You'd rather see him succeeding down here in a Saints shirt.
But that said, the way we've played this season, we've won the league by 16 points, a record margin, with a half-back combination of Lomax and Farge. Why would you break that up?
Well, that's it. As I say, you're not going to. You might think that the coach would have a look at him and see if he fancied him, or see if he wanted to to keep him on the books, or whether he thought, no, he's not my type of player, I do want rid of him. But
it might not be a case of wanting rid of someone. It might be a case of, do you know what?
We can't afford him.
We can't afford it. We need to sign a big unit prop.
And
we've got Farge here for another couple of years.
Yeah.
Lomax is going to be mainstay of the team.
And a couple of people have turned around and said have spent the salary cap with regards to Richardson, or has this always been on the cards? I saw a couple of tweets came into us. Has this been on the cards, or will it free up some salary cap? I wouldn't be too excited about the amount that it would free up, because his contract, you'd imagine, isn't going to be one of them where you think, brilliant, we've got £100,000.
I don't remember him signing a new deal last year. He may have. Somebody may correct us, but I don't think he'll be on massive money anyway.
I don't think he will be.
The fee will be a decent amount. And listen, how many games has Danny played this season for us in games that matter? I think it's not many.
Yeah.
And if you can invest that for someone who's going to be in your 17 every week.
You know what? It is a shame, because you have a look at some players. You have a look at like Bentley coming in and getting a run of games and then going out of the team. Danny's been, he's had a run where I think he had 4 or 5 weeks when Farge was out, but he's not had one of them where he's had quarter of a season where you think, or half a season where you think, right, this is your time to do it. But that is, again, we'll go back to it, and it's one of the old cliches. We don't watch him day in, day out. We watch him once a week.
In a match though, have you ever looked at Danny in the games and thought, you've really took your chance there, and that's your shirt now to lose? I don't think we've had that feeling, have we? He's had good games, he's had bad games, and it's hard when you come in and out.
Don't get me wrong, there's probably like a sig papers difference between him and Farge at times, and I think
horses for courses, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, and you think that Danny's possibly got a higher possibility.
Higher ceiling?
Yeah, higher ceiling, but also potentially a lower floor. There's a bigger, I don't know, a bigger difference between he's good and he's bad.
Theo, you're always going to get a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Danny, you can get a 5 or you can get a 9.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the difference. But Danny's career strikes me as a Libreas type.
Where he'll go on, he'll be a hero at somewhere like Cass.
He'll have a good career.
Yeah, of course he will.
He'll hopefully win himself some trophies, not at the expense of Saints, we hope, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, and it's not the right situation, the right time. But listen, we're not bagging Danny at all, are we?
Not at all. No.
If he goes, we wish him well. If not, do you know what? Listen, we've said earlier on, if we have potential to be able to carry 3 first choice halfbacks next year, then so be it.
Yeah.
But Lewis Doddridge and Jack Wellsby potentially share it to the future who need opportunities themselves.
Yep.
Other news this week, I've seen a couple of stats. Jack Ashworth, what was it, 35 kilometres an hour, 35 kilometres an hour, 22 mile an hour top speed of any back rower forward in Super League.
I don't think my car can get to that.
Only two Premier League players last season ran faster than that. Kyle Walker and Timothy Fosu Mensah, I think it was, easy for me to say, from Fulham. That is 16 stone of muscle running at you.
It's quick, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Only a couple of Saints players beat them. Regan Grace, people won't be surprised for Saints. I think these are the stats that we need to be putting on posters.
Well, that's it. It's where you should be building up. Like, there should be. Remember when we did that? Was it?
I would put Jack Ashworth on the back of a bus and say, "I run faster at you than this bus travels." There you go.
These marketing minds going here. But no, you are right. That's it.
I'm no marketing mind.
Why isn't Regan Grace like being lauded now as the quickest player in the league, or the player who got to the highest speed anyway, if you want to call him quickest or whatever? Why isn't Jack Ashworth all over the place being lauded as? I think it's all down to his starting out as a centre, isn't it? And they bulked him up a bit. Yeah, lose. Imagine if he was still a centre.
Hey, listen. I've bulked up and I still run as fast as before. Snail pace.
I've got 2 gears, forward and backwards. That's it.
Forward and stop.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. We should be lauding these players, shouldn't we?
Yeah, one for the off season.
Yep.
And I think that is basically that.
Yep.
The horses and the carts will be coming over Billinge Hill on Friday evening.
Yep.
The Wiganers won't be taking the plates to the chippy on Friday night with the tea towels over the top. We know you do it.
Oh, Babby's head and pay wet.
Oh, never mind. Do you know what? It's glad to welcome them back to like fresh air.
Yeah. To a nice rugby league stadium.
Yeah, stoke it up. And hopefully we'll have that winning feeling.
Yeah.
Right. 17.5 minutes. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And Kev will keep his hair.
Will I? Can you tell it to stop falling on it?
See you later.